What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool news video where we will talk about Howard Webb and what he said about the controversial VAR incidents that happened recently, because it's an absolute disgrace that there is still no accountability for the referees in the Premier League. There literally is no consequence even when they make the worst mistake in Premier League history, and there were some other huge mistakes during the weekend. Kovacic not getting sent off for Man City. Thankfully Arsenal still won the game 1-0, but I'm convinced that the Man City are paying off the referees, because you don't get any big controversial decisions going against Manchester City ever in the past 2 or 3 years. And also there was a big shove on Ollie Watkins on the weekend, and the Aston Villa striker failed to score because of that big shove in the back from a defender. And that's the thing, if you don't play football, if you haven't played football regularly, then you don't know what a big foul that is. If you are shooting on goal and you are on balance and then somebody shoves you in the back as you are about to shoot, that's a clear foul because you are going to miss the shot. And the PGMOL said it's a significant human error for disallowing Luis Diaz's goal, but it's a lot more than that, because the VAR referee and the assistant VAR referee, they knew 30 seconds after Luis Diaz scored that the goal is onside, and they didn't say that. They just said check complete, great process, well done guys. And they didn't clarify to the referee that the goal should be given, even though they said they are checking for offside. And yet Howard Webb, who is friends with these guys, he is defending them still instead of sacking them and demoting them to Sunday League football, because that's where Darren England and Simon Hooper and all those absolutely incompetent, awful referees belong. They don't belong in the Premier League. They don't even belong in a really competitive professional league. So there is a match officials mic'd up a segment where Howard Webb spoke to Michael Owen. Michael Owen doesn't have the personality for this. He shouldn't be the one asking really good, really serious questions to Howard Webb, because he didn't. He was like two friends sitting at a pub, agreeing with each other. Somebody who is really questioning the integrity and the competency of the referees should be questioning Howard Webb and getting the really, really tough answers out of him, because this isn't it, honestly. Howard Webb said, we took the unusual step of releasing the audio from the situation not long after it happened. It took 3 days for you to release it. So what are you talking about, Howard? He was in the pocket of Man United when he was refereeing, and he confirmed later that they were afraid of Sir Alex Ferguson. Multiple referees came out after they retired saying that they were afraid of Sir Alex Ferguson. No wonder Man United didn't receive a lot of bad decisions at Old Trafford. Referees were just really afraid of the Man United manager. Howard Webb said, we wanted to show everybody what was very quickly apparent, that it was a significant human error and loss of concentration. No, that's not a loss of concentration. The replay operator, the boss of the VAR and assistant VAR referees, he told them to stop the game, to delay the game, and they strictly refused. It's absolute nonsense that you can't stop the game. When it was Liverpool who had a throw-in like a minute after the Luis Diaz goal happened, and yet they refused to do the right thing and stop the game. They should lose their jobs, I'm pretty convinced, and it's no coincidence that they were paid by the Man City owners 2 days before the Tottenham Liverpool game. So I'm absolutely fuming. If you want to make me feel better, make sure to leave a like, and also help me out. Check out my Patreon where you get great benefits and support this channel with a few dollars. Please help me out, because these episodes only make like $5-6 per episode. Howard Webb said, we are all disappointed the VAR system didn't step in to rectify the clear error. we had seen on the field with the disallowing of the goal. They had every chance to give the goal. That's my really big problem with this. They had every chance. They could have stopped the game. They could have told the referee, you have to give the goal because we made an error. Nobody is more disappointed than the officials themselves. Howard Webb said, oh, you know what? Cry me a river. They get a 1 week holiday. That's their punishment. And then the next weekend, they will be refereeing again in the Premier League. Absolute scandal that they are not accountable. They are not punished. They don't have to do interviews. The referees get paid £150,000 per year. And they don't suffer any consequences when they make bad decisions. Liverpool lost the Premier League title twice by 1 point. And this cost Liverpool 3 points because we would have won the game. Probably, if the Luis Diaz goal is allowed, Liverpool would have been 1-0 up, and it completely changes the competition and the momentum of the game. Howard Webb said, of course, without VAR, that disallowed goal would still have been a disallowed goal, but VAR exists to step in when we make a wrong decision on the field. So of course we are disappointed. Our job then was to try to find out what happened and what we can do to prevent that sort of thing happening again in the future. Liverpool should be awarded the 3 points. And I don't want to replay the game because that would be unfair on Tottenham. Tottenham themselves didn't really do anything wrong. So Tottenham's points should stand, but just give the 3 points to Liverpool, which was lost, because that's the only way that it would be really fair on both teams. Howard Webb said one of the things that has been brought into sharp focus is the need to reiterate some of those communication protocols that are really valuable in VAR to prevent this type of things happening. You know what's the biggest problem is that they are not professional and competent, these referees. They are refereeing like they are just a bunch of friends out on the weekend playing five-a-side football near a mate's house, and then they are going to that mate for beers and lunch and dinner and everything. So they are not refereeing like seriously. Everybody is using nicknames for each other. They are just a big white boys club, and it's not really serious stuff, and they don't suffer consequences when they make mistakes. So why should they bother? Why should they care? They get away with it. The PGMOL had to issue 13 apologies already to all kinds of teams. And this is not about tribalism. This is not about Arsenal or Liverpool or Tottenham. Any club, it can happen to you as well. Apart from, of course, if you support Man City, you have nothing to worry about because the referees are already in your pocket. But if you support any other club, you have to be worried that how many points will you lose because of the incompetence and the corruption of the referees. And I'm convinced that the Man City will win the Premier League again because the referees will make decisions that favor Man City and that hinder those other teams. Another great case in point, Kovacic. He should have even got a red card probably for the first tackle. Howard Webb said if Michael Oliver gives a red card for Kovacic's first tackle, then it would have been sending off and VAR wouldn't have overruled it. So he gives a yellow for that, and then a minute later Kovacic goes in and almost breaks Odegaard's ankle. Odegaard is staying down, he's clearly injured, and yet Kovacic receives nothing. And because it's a second yellow card, VAR can't overturn it. What absolute nonsense is that as well, by the way? Jota's second yellow card couldn't be overturned because it was only a yellow card. But if it results in a sending off, a red card, and it's a second yellow, then VAR should be able to step in. So they should change the rule that in that instance, in that circumstance as well. But these guys are not football people. They don't play football. They have only officiated football, and they are only like sticking to the rules when it suits them. But because when you have to give a goal to Liverpool, apparently rules don't matter. Apparently you can give a clear onside goal as offside, and because they already restarted the game, they don't want to give the goal to Liverpool. Nobody would have criticized Darren England if he says to the referee, stop the game and give the goal, because Luis Diaz was clearly onside. It's not a marginal decision. He was onside by 62 centimeters, by almost a yard. And yet they don't give the goal. They give 2 red cards to Liverpool, who didn't put in one dangerous tackle in the game, which says it all, that basically the referees probably bet on Tottenham winning, or probably was paid a huge amount of money by the Man City owners, so they wanted to punish and hurt Liverpool. And I bet you guys now that those 3 points that we lost to Tottenham, we will miss them at the end of the season. I just have a feeling that we will miss out on the title or on a significant position because of those 3 points, and also the momentum that we would have had with winning at Tottenham with 10 men would have been absolutely massive, and yet we lose that momentum. So Howard Webb said before communicating to the field, speaking to the assistant VAR, what their intended direction of travel is going to be, and not just saying check complete, because what are you check completing? Say check complete, goal confirmed. In this case, check complete, offside confirmed. That is then another trigger to the Anfield officials that they are going in the wrong direction. If we have put a lot of steps in place to ensure the error we saw in that important game doesn't happen again, but that doesn't help Liverpool. We lost the 3 points because of your incompetence. And Howard Webb said why the referee couldn't stop the game after play had restarted. They recognized that the laws of the game doesn't allow that. But the laws of the game doesn't allow to disallow a perfectly good goal as well. What's more important? I mean, how can it be more important to not stop the game when you clearly went against the rules of the game? You disallowed an onside perfectly good goal. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, how can they twist the rules and laws so it benefits them and it benefits Man City and not Liverpool? And Howard Webb said there's obviously a process in place that sits in the laws of the game, and it doesn't allow you to go back in those circumstances. But then just like last season, Brighton played Man United, the game was finished, the game was over, the referee blew the whistle, everybody was going out of the stadium, the players were going down the tunnel, and then Man United got a penalty after the final whistle had been blown. So if you can do that, then surely you can stop the game 30 seconds after the wrong decision has been made and give the goal to Liverpool. So what do you think about this? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear your opinion. And also, very controversial news coming from Liverpool that the upper tier of the Anfield Road stand will remain closed until next year, until 2024, because there is further delay in the expansion project, which is a really disappointing thing, because many Liverpool fans already bought tickets in that stand anticipating that it will be finished like in October or November, but it looks like it won't be finished because the construction company went bankrupt in September. And I mean, this shouldn't have been happening, because Liverpool planned for the stadium to be completed before the season began. So not just Liverpool lose a significant amount of revenue, but we also lose a significant amount of great atmosphere at Anfield. Somebody said on Reddit, the Thiago Alcantara of stadium upgrades. Oh my god, that it's never completed. Thiago is always coming back from injury, but never fully back. So it looks like Liverpool decided for the whole stand to be finished rather than allowing some of the seats to be used while the construction is still ongoing. That doesn't make much sense to me, but maybe there is construction reasons for that. I'm not really sure. So Liverpool said the lower tier of the stand remains open and the upper tier remains closed until the end of 2023. Ultimately, this is a decision that was made in order for us to give time for ourselves, for external consultants, as well as for Rainer Rowan to continue with the assessment of the project and ultimately to finalize the project timeline. So if you have a ticket in the upper Anfield Road stand area, then probably your ticket will be refunded and you will get priority of some kind in the resale process. That happened in the Carabao Cup as well. And it looks like Liverpool will lose around £10.5 million in matchday revenue because of this delay of the co-completion of the new Anfield road stand. So this is a big blow and a bit of a shambles as well. And Konate, who is at the French national team camp, he was asked if Parisian French national team players are lobbying for him to go to PSG. And he was laughing off the question. He said, I won't answer as to what they are doing. It's true that I'm Parisian and there are Parisian players, but now I'm in Liverpool, things are going well, we work every day, and now we have to continue working. And I mean, if you are from Paris, then playing for Paris Saint-Germain would be close to your heart. Look at Kylian Mbappe, one of the main reasons why he's staying at PSG, even though that club is an absolute mess. It's an absolute train wreck. Recently, if you are a Parisian boy growing up, you dream about playing for Paris Saint-Germain one day. So maybe Konate in the future will join PSG sooner or later. Hopefully it's not until he's like 28, 29 or 30 years old. And also I'm looking at the non-penalty goals plus assists per 90 minutes for Premier League players between 99 and last season, and Mo Salah is third with 0.86 goals and assists per 90 minutes excluding penalties. Only Sergio Aguero and Thierry Henry has better goals and assists per 90 minute ratio than Salah, which makes him an absolute all-time Premier League legend. And behind Salah, Van Persie, Drogba, Gabriel Jesus, De Bruyne, Sturridge, Harry Kane, Son, Giroud, Torres, Jimmy Floyd, Hasselbank, Wayne Rooney, Alexis Sanchez, Dennis Bergkamp, Carlos Tevez, Rudolf Nistelrooy, Lukaku, and Sadio Mane and Cristiano Ronaldo. So you can see that Mo Salah is above a lot of Premier League legends. So I think we will truly appreciate him once he retires. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. See you later, guys. Goodbye.